How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ruby Girl Talk. And tonight I have once again amazing, outstanding guest that's came to share her story with you, and her name is Miss Cynthia Johnson. I am so glad that I finally get to sit down and interview with Miss Cynthia. When I first heard her, we were on StreamYard. We was on the show together, and she talked just so well, so captivating, and everything. I was like, I have to share her with my audience. I didn't want to be stingy and just keep her to myself. I was like, share, Kay. You tell your audience all the time, sharing is caring. So I care about y'all. So I brought Miss Cynthia on the call tonight. Hi, Miss Cynthia. How you doing?
Hello, hello. I am good. Thank you for inviting me, Miss Karen, tonight. I am
You
so excited to be here.
you are welcome. You are welcome. And in case y'all don't know, in case y'all can't read, I am Karen, your favorite Ruby girl. Yes. And so tonight, Miss Cynthia, I want you to go on my page, find this video, and share it on your page so that your people can also watch and be captivated by everything that you have to say. So while you're doing that, I'm going to do my little commercial. So hey y'all, hey, I am Karen, your favorite Ruby girl. Ruby girl comes from Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above the price of a ruby. That makes you what, ladies? Valuable, rare, and most certainly virtuous. And so my name of my company is His Designs, but my brand is Ruby Girl. And so Ruby Girl is about a resetting of your mindset. I want you to stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a victor. Why? Because God has erased your past and you have a bright future. So you can go to rubygirl.net, and you can go shopping, get you a Ruby Girl t-shirt. Let me pull it up. Ruby Girl t-shirt. Or you can get you a Ruby Girl bra wallet. Let me tell you, even if you don't put your money in here, this thing right here is the bomb. And I'm not saying it because I created it, not at all. I'm not tooting my own horn, none of that. I didn't do that, but now I use my bra wallet. You just clip it here, and then you stuff it in there and it's gone. Where did it go? So the good thing about it, if you exercise, if you walking your dog, if you're somewhere where you have to put your purse away, you can at least have your ID, you can have your credit cards. If you know a senior citizen, this is great. If anybody ever try to come in their house, they do it all the time and try to steal their valuables, they won't get their credit card, they won't get their money because it'll be right here. And so it is a wonderful gift for teachers, for people in the hospital that work in the hospital. So go to rubygirl.net. Get that bra wallet, ladies. Right, get it. And so it's secure too. I have been wearing mine for like years, and I have not had a problem with it falling off or nothing. And one of my friends have stretched it to capacity, and it's still working. So all right, go to rubygirl.net, and remember, every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day. So what do you do on Ruby Girl Day? You put on your t-shirt, you take a selfie, and then you tag me in it, and you use the hashtag Ruby Girl Day. It's your day to shine because you are God's precious gem. So Miss Cynthia, did you share this?
I did, Miss Karen, I did.
That is great. That is great. So tell us about Cynthia Johnson. We already know that you are amazing. We already know that you're going to captivate us. We already know that we're going to talk about credit, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we're excited tonight. So tell us about who you are.
You are so kind, Miss Karen, with that introduction. I'm actually Cynthia Johnson. I am the CEO of Money Matters Financial Solutions, LLC. And what I do is that I help and support women who are in transition take control of their finances to promote a positive lifestyle change. And my passion and my focus mainly in the credit area, although I venture out into budgeting and other areas of finance, financial literacy, educating individuals on finances. I am board certified credit consultant. I am certified credit score consultant through CCA, Credit Consultants Association, housed outside of Florida. So I am excited. I'm passionate about finances. I became passionate about it shortly after I started my real estate career as a real estate agent. And I came into contact with many people who had financial issues and had nowhere to go. Sometimes we just need a go-to person. Sometimes we may not need a fix. Sometimes we just may need somebody to go to direct us where we need to go, or to provide us the resources that we need, or even just share some information so that we'll know that we're on the right track. Or sometimes we just need somebody to brainstorm with them. So I am that go-to person for those
Oh,
individuals who are looking, who need the assistance, who need some help, who may just need to brainstorm, or who may need to fix something here or there, or tweak something here and there. And that is me.
that is a lot of you. That is a wonderful you. I love your introduction. And so you begin to tell us just a little bit about what made you passionate about good credit. So to be honest, a lot of people just let their credit roll wherever it roll. They're like, okay,
Absolutely.
it's bad credit. And so usually when people get bad credit, they feel like they're just stuck there, that there's no out to it, that it's only just going to get ugly. So that's why I said we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And the bad is you feel like, okay, I've had bad credit. I cannot see no way that I could ever have good credit again. But it's possible. I can personally tell you that it is possible. I had A1 credit, and then I had a situation happen to me that was not my fault whatsoever. But God recovered me and brought me all the way back to, as they say, A1 credit again. And it was only by his grace and mercy. But Miss Cynthia, tell us, what made you passionate about people having good credit?
Actually, Miss Karen, my father instilled in me as in my teens, I guess I would say in my teens, about finances and credit. Um, I can't say that I didn't know. Whether I followed the rules or not, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I was informed. At the end of the day, the choice was up to me as to what I was going to do with it. Of course, when I got into college, I think I had every credit card, that every offer that was sent to me. I think I got every credit card that came through the mail. And I just went on a charging spree all those years because I felt powerful because I had all these credit cards, right? Then the day came when I had a revelation, an eye-opening moment that I did not want to continue to live like that. Living just owing and owing and owing and owing, pretty much paycheck to paycheck, and constantly owing people. And I'm like, okay, they're taking most of my money. I want to keep some of my money. So it was at that point that was a turning point for me, and a shift in my mindset that, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something about it. And that's when I began to work my plan. Little by little, I worked my plan. And Miss Karen, let me tell you this. Life does happen and we may fall, but we can always get back up. I began to work my way out of that little by little. I developed my own plan. I developed a strategy. Actually, I did what people call snowballing. I identified what I had. I identified all my creditors. I could have consolidated, but for me personally, that was not going to work for me because with consolidation, everything is combined and you're paying this one payment, but my money would have all been tied up in that, even though I would have this one big lump sum payment. That was just not feasible for me. I wanted a little more control. So therefore, I did a snowball. I laid everything out. This is what you owe. Now, organize it. Organize it by balances, the highest balance to the low, or organize it by the interest rate, the highest interest rate to the low. Whichever way you wanted to do it. I did it according to the balance. I began to chip away at the balance. And say, for instance, this is just for the sake of conversation tonight.
Okay.
Say, for instance, I was paying $20 on one, 10 on the other. Okay. After I completed, paid off that one that I was paying the $20 on, I did not have $20 to put back in my pocket. No, I did not. I took that 20, I rolled it over, I snowballed it onto the next one. So therefore, instead of paying 10, I'm now able to pay 30. Okay, because I pulled the 20 from that one and rolled it over to that one. So when that one was paid, I have now freed up $20 plus $10. That's $30. And now I'm rolling over that $30 to the next bill that I have. So that formula worked better for me, and I felt like I had more control. And as I snowballed, the payments got bigger, and then I began to chisel away at the debt. And I personally needed to go through that process because that for me, I promised myself I would never get myself in that situation again because I'm the type of person I have to walk through it and I have to walk it out. Because if you bail me out, I might find myself back in that situation again. So I've got to learn the lesson and I've got to walk through it. I have got to walk it out so that I can learn the lesson and not return to it again. But I do want to say this, Ms. Karen, with working with people, we have to be in the mindset because you can say I'm ready all day long, but the discipline that comes with this, that sets you in a whole nother mindset. There has to be a discipline. And oftentimes when individuals begin to do the work, it's
Mhm.
hard work. It's hard work because it's truth. You're looking at truth. I can
Mm.
go out and purchase all day long and live in a fantasy land and have all of this going on and this and that and feeling good about myself. But when I have laid out my expenses and my income, that's true. I mean, that is a
Yes,
snapshot of what's really going on. And sometimes looking at that snapshot of what's really going on is a very disheartening thing because oftentimes we realize it may be worse than what we have actually, you know what I'm saying, thought that it was or realized that it was. And now we've got to come up with a plan to work it to get this situation under our control so that it no longer controls us because a lot of stress, a lot of health issues can come when we are indebted to so many people with with all of these balances and stuff. So
I agree.
I'm just passionate that people know that they can come out of this. Hey, let's come out of this. It's work. It takes work. It takes you doing your due diligence. It takes you doing your work and having a renewed mindset that hey, I'm going to do this. It's going to be hard, but I'm
Mhm.
going.
Got you, got you. I can tell by what you just told us that you are very, very passionate, and you're passionate because you applied it to you first to make sure it worked before you can share it with others. And I think that's the best teacher is a teacher. Well, a teacher has to know it before they can teach it. And sometimes you have to experience it before you can share with somebody else, hey, this formula is successful. And I like what you said, how you snowball, but that took discipline because for most people, they free up $20 and they like, oh, I can go take this and start another debt or
Yes,
something.
ma'am.
So first, your first thing you have to do is face your truth. That's what I got. Face your truth.
Yes.
Look at your bills and understand this is where I'm at. This is I'm in debt. And number two, you have to be disciplined because if not, like you said, you didn't want to consolidate anything be tied to that. You wanted more control. And plus, you consolidate, that frees your credit cards up. And next thing you know, you're using
Yes.
them again. So it can become a cycle, just a
Yes.
cycle that you can end. Like they talking about the cycle of poverty. You can get into the cycle of debt and it can be never ending. So, Cynthia, why is it important to have good credit? Why can't I just have bad credit? I can still get stuff on credit. What's so
And
big about good credit?
you can, Miss Karen, you really can still get stuff, but you're going to get it at a higher price. You're going to pay more for it. Bad credit, it costs more. Your interest rate is going to be higher. Whereas a person with decent credit, good credit can go out and maybe get 0% financing. Let's just use a vehicle for the sake of the conversation tonight. We see offers all the time, 0% financing for qualified buyers, 2.9% financing for qualified buyers. I'm like this. If I'm going to spend my money to make a payment, I want to make the least the payment, how can I put it? I want the majority of my payment to go to the principal, to the balance, and not to the interest rate. I don't want to have a $200 payment and 50% of that is going to interest and the other 50% is going to the principal. No, ma'am. I want all the 100 to go to the principal if at all possible. But if not, maybe 2% or 3% or 4% to go to that. But bad credit really costs. You're going to pay higher. Your monthly payments is going to be higher. Your end result, the total that you're paying for your home or your car or whatever is going to be more. Why give them more money? Why let them make more money off of you? Why not keep more money in your pocket by doing the work? And not only that, Miss Karen, when your credit is good and you're walking into a bank or you're walking into whatever lending institution you choose, whenever your credit is run and you have good credit, the conversation changes. Whenever you go in and people think your credit is not good, you don't get the respect that you feel you deserve. The conversation is a little different. It's
Hmm.
somewhat can sometimes be a little demeaning. But when a person pulls your credit report and they see you have a very good score, the conversation then changes and you have the power. Then the power is now in your hand because you're ready to negotiate. You don't have to take what a person gives you. When you have bargaining power, you have negotiating power whenever you have a strong credit score. And that's why I encourage people, just don't settle. Do the work so you can have negotiating power. You want some power whenever you go into these different places. So I'm all about having some power, having the respect whenever you're going in and trying to obtain a loan or a vehicle or a mortgage or whatever you may be trying to get.
So, Cynthia, once again, this is what I got. I'm getting pointers tonight, y'all. So I got that credit gives you power, and it helps you to negotiate, because you're right. It's like people feel inferior because their credit is bad. They don't talk about it. Like, you can tell when somebody has bad credit, like, yeah, I went out and brought this, and they be like, yeah, well, my credit's not that good. And you shouldn't feel bad about it, because you still a good person.
Yeah,
People think if you got bad credit, you're a bad person. It's just that some people can't manage
right,
credit or manage money. Some people are strong here
right.
and weak here. But what I don't like is like how the insurance company will charge you more for your auto
Yes,
insurance. Like,
yes,
bad credit makes
yes,
me a bad driver. Like, I'm like,
yes,
oh my God, my credit score is 500. Oh my, like, I'm so
yes,
worried about that. So
yes.
that's what I can't understand. If I have bad credit, how does that relate to how I drive? Do I be holding credit cards, so many credit cards I can't steer? Make it make sense, insurance company. Make it make sense to me, because it's not. And so
It-
you're right. Good credit. I mean, we have a lot of things against us as it is, if you know what I'm saying.
exactly. Yep.
Without us having people look down on us because we don't have good credit. You can have a lot of money. You can have a lot of
Yeah.
money in the bank and
Yeah.
everything, but they'll still be like, but you don't have enough money to get
Right.
this house. You don't have enough money to get this car. But if you have good credit, it opens the door for you to get a
Yes.
lot of stuff. But
Yes.
I want us to really become millionaires so we don't have to worry
Yeah.
about credit.
That's it, Miss Karen.
So, talking about credit, good credit. So we were talking about credit rich. Now, these are the people that, I mean, they got everything they want, but it's all on plastic. It come from plastic, it come from signing papers and everything. Is it possible to be credit rich, meaning that you just rich, you can afford everything, but everything's been charged, everything been signed off.
Miss Karen, that is possible. There are people out there who pretty much just live that way. Everything is charged to a credit card. Everything. This card is maxed out. This card is maxed out. We go open up another card, that card is maxed out, or we open up another card, or we pay it down just enough so we can put another $100 on it or another $50 on it. And there are some people who live like that, and that has to be stressful. That is not something that I personally would like to do, because that is dead. I mean, it's dead. It's plastic, but it is dead. It does not go away. Nobody comes and just write a ticket and say, "Oh, it's now gone." That does not happen. That money has to be paid back some kind of way. And just to piggyback on what you were saying about the car insurance, people are now, the credit score is becoming, how can I say it? in regards to looking for apartments or jobs, job employers and apartment complexes are now pulling in credit scores as well. So a bad credit score can also cause you to be homeless because you may not qualify for an apartment, or you may not even qualify for the job because of the credit score. Because like you were saying, the auto insurance definitely pulls in the credit score. When I found that out, that almost just like flipped me out. Because I'm like you, what does one thing have to do with the other? My driving has nothing to do with credit, but it's amazing that the number of institutions who are now looking at people credit score, and they're looking at it like, okay, if your score is low, then you are high risk, and you are high risk in every area because you're not able to manage this. So we're going to penalize you, because if you can't manage this, then what can you manage? Obviously, you can't manage anything else. So it's like you have this high risk badge on you that, look, stay away from them because they're very high risk.
But you know what? I forgot that even jobs do use
Yes.
credit score. And I think, I mean, I understand they think if you're not responsible to handle your credit, but if I'm a cashier, I think I think my credit score is not going to affect that. But some
Right.
people look at it that if your credit score is big, especially in bad in financial institution, they
Yes.
think it's a risk that you might steal, that you're not
Yes.
responsible with money. And I get that. I totally get that. But I just don't like when people are judged for
Right.
certain things. And the pandemic has shown us how people easily judge you. I remember in the beginning when you wore your mask, it was great, and they judged the people that didn't, and now they're
Right.
judging the people that wear the mask.
Right.
So it's just like you just can't please people.
Right.
But when it comes to credit, y'all, we have to be responsible. When I was growing up, you couldn't get credit unless you had money. That meant that you could pay it back. That's what credit was. Credit was like, I'm gonna let you take this for now because I know you can pay me back. Credit now is, I know you don't have the money, so I'm gonna
Right.
give you the money.
Right.
Yes, and I
Right.
remember that because
Right.
I lived down south, and I remember my grandmother and them, they didn't have credit cards. They didn't have, the only credit we had was at this country grocery store, and we had to pay it off every month because they knew
Mhm.
she needed credit till she got her social security check.
Right.
But they knew she could pay it back. They didn't give us credit because they knew we couldn't pay, that we didn't have the money.
Right.
So things have changed. So we just have to
Yes.
be responsible. Y'all that are watching, I want you to share this because there's somebody out there that maybe have bad credit and they're feeling bad about it. But even have bad credit, you can turn it
Yes.
around. And so on our
Yes.
next segment, Cynthia is going to give you some tips and some tricks on how you can get that credit score going pretty good and how you can get out of that situation. But during this time, she's going to give us a 60-second pitch. And while she gives us that 60-second mind-blowing pitch, I'm going to check on Facebook, see who watching. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We can answer them now or we can answer them later. So, Miss Cynthia, you got 60-second pitch however you want to pitch.
I challenge each and every one who is watching this. I challenge you to renew your mind when it comes to finances. I challenge you to manage your credit. I'm not promoting, how can I say, I'm not promoting that you go out and get credit. What I'm doing, I want everybody to be educated. Be educated as to what is involved in a credit score so that we can make it better, so that we can do better. Because there are some things in this life we're going to have to use the credit score. I mean, we're going to have to use, they're going to run your credit score. I'm sorry. I don't care how wealthy you are. At some point in time, they're going to run the credit score. So I'm all for it. Let's get on board with it. Let's renew our minds. Let's get hyped about it. Let's begin to manage our credit. If we're going to use it, let's manage it and let's manage it well. So I challenge each and every one to let's take this step tonight to say, hey, I have a renewed mind. I'm going to manage my credit. And that's it, Miss Dodd.
Hey, man, that was great. That was great. So I was trying to pull up our comments right quick. And so we had some good comments. Y'all out there watching, I didn't even know it. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. So here's a comment. It says bargaining power. Yes, credit is bargaining power. Y'all, we need money, we need credit,
Yes.
we need everything we can find to bargain with. If it can get us ahead, it can get us ahead. And then Cynthia said, I had another Cynthia. She said, I've had both bad and good, but good credit feels a heck of a lot better. Yes, honey. Yes,
Yes.
it do. It is so freeing to have
Yes.
good credit, because when you apply for a credit card, you're not like, whew, whew, come on,
Yes.
come on, come on, come on. You have confidence.
Yes.
Oh, this about to go through.
Yes.
When you use
Yes.
your credit cards, they're gonna go through. So
Yes.
it takes a lot off of you. And so Lisa says, credit when used correctly allows you to leverage your funds. Yes. Why spend
Yes.
10K to open a business when you can use someone else's money to do it? That frees your cash
Yes.
for other things. See, Lisa
Yes.
is the Ruby girl of 2021. Lisa know finances. She know stocks. She know everything. You know, honestly, I have not met anyone close in my circle that was so financial savvy as her, especially an African American woman that knows
Mhm.
about stocks. She's the first person that I have encountered. And then she said, this topic is so important. It's critical for people to understand that it costs way more to have poor credit. It does. It's not fair, but it is. We must
Yes.
teach our children the importance of credit and stop messing up those babies' credit. Healthy credit
Yes.
totally adds to your total net worth. Yes, Lisa,
Yes.
that is so true.
Yes.
And people don't understand how important it is. But this is one thing I learned. Don't let nobody mess up your credit if
That's
their credit
right.
messed up. Because if they don't respect their name, they don't think twice about
Yes.
messing up stuff for you. So I want y'all to know,
Yes.
official, I do not co-sign. I do not
Yes.
co-sign for anybody.
No,
I'm not.
ma'am.
No, I am not going on anything with you. I am so
Yes.
low on my credit because
Yes.
if I'm gonna mess it up, if it's gonna get messed up, it's gonna be me. And I think that's a great practice. I know you want to help out your cousin Ray Ray, but Ray Ray done messed up his stuff. Ray Ray do not care about your stuff. You're just some more credit that he can mess up and he can
Mhm.
keep moving. So that's one thing I knew growing up, is not to sign for somebody else. Don't light bills, gas bill, none of that. Nope, you're not getting it in my name. I'm sorry. I
Yes.
will help you in other ways, but we're not.
Yes.
No, you're not messing up my
Yes.
credit. You know.
Yes.
But we're on the second half of the show. That was a great pitch. Thank you so much. But like you said, we need to know the value of credit and we need to teach our children while they're young. But then a lot of us, our parents, don't
Right.
know about credit. Their
Right.
credit is messed up. They're trying
Right.
to give us everything on a credit card.
Right.
No, let me tell you, struggle makes you stronger,
Yes.
because our generation, we didn't get stuff handed to us. We didn't have no
Yes.
$500 cell phone.
Yes.
$300. Look, my whole wardrobe wasn't even worth $100 when I was growing up. I had church clothes and I had school clothes.
Yes.
School clothes you got out of, you put on your play clothes. Church
Yes.
clothes did not go to school. I didn't have no $100 jacket. Okay, so anyway, here's your next $1 million question. Do you think, as a Christian, that the enemy can use credit to ensnare us? Because think about it, what the Bible talks about, that the borrower, the one that borrowed the money, is slave to the lender. And I personally know this to be true. Short
Yes.
story, so you can
Yes.
answer. I had went to this court, this debt court, that's what I call it. And this lady worked for Walmart. She made $300 every 2 weeks. And so the judge was looking at her paperwork and he said, "You're being garnished now." And she said, "Yes, I can't afford to live on my own." And so this guy was like, "Well, sir, she owes us for this." The judge says, "When you get finished paying your garnishment, ma'am, he's going to garnish you." Bam. That was it. It was no mercy whatsoever. So answer that question for us, and then also give us some tips so we can get our credit score up and so we won't get ensnared in this credit trap.
Miss Karen, I agree with you on that. I was just making a note because while you were talking, something came across my mind. It is easy to get ensnared, but that's where discipline comes in. how can I say this so I don't sound like I'm contradicting myself? I'm all for managing credit. I'm all for helping and educating us to use credit wisely, because in this era we need it. However, you are correct. The enemy will come in and trip us up. The many offers that we get in the mail, offers that you get for this, offers that you get. It's easy to sign up for those offers. Or when you go to the store, oh, you open up a new credit card, we'll give you 30% off of something, or we'll give you 50% off of something, or whatever. And oftentimes people get caught up in that. It's enticing. The offers are very enticing, but we have to keep in mind, that's why I say the renewing of the mind. We have got to renew our mind. Credit is debt. We don't want to be in bondage to debt. We don't want to be, how can I say this, our whole life paying on credit cards and trying to get out of debt. And what I would just say is be careful. If you don't need it, why get it? I get offers all the time. I have one credit card. I get offers all the time. I turn down those offers. I go to the store, you want a credit card for this, or you want a credit card for this, or you can go in the store and they say, oh, by the way, even if you're going to get a cell phone or you're going to get other things, oh, by the way, well, you can get this because your credit's card. No, I don't want that. We have to set boundaries within our finances, and we have to be disciplined. So when those offers come, which I call are the snares, because they sound good, they look good, they are very enticing, they are very tempting, but we have to be disciplined. That's the bottom line. We in this financial thing, it requires discipline. It requires a renewed mind. It requires us educating ourselves, and it requires discipline. I cannot stress discipline enough. I just cannot. Discipline, discipline, discipline. That is the only way to not get snared. Or one of the things, oh, we've increased your credit limit, so now you can go, because they want you to spend more. You're right. It's designed to keep you trapped. I'm just being honest. It's designed to keep you trapped. And that is why I'm here, because I'm like, no, you don't have to stay trapped. Manage it. Be disciplined. Set healthy financial boundaries and stay within those financial boundaries. Don't go out of those boundaries, because when you do, that's when you find yourself in bondage, and then you're stressed out, and your whole life you're paying and you're stressing over trying to get out of this debt. So I did that answer the question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So when it comes to credit cards, is it good to play that 0% interest game where you put your money on this card and then before the 18 months you find another card and you move it there and you pay that, just keep moving it around like that? Is that a good game to play?
Is not a good game to play. However, in my earlier years, I did not do that, but years and years and years ago, a person could negotiate their interest rates on credit cards. It's not so much now as it used to be years ago, but years ago, when that window and that opportunity was there, I negotiated for lower interest rates and I got them. But as far as getting an offer, oh, you can transfer this balance here and you can transfer that balance here, and you can, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I do not do that. Now, if I have a 19% interest rate on a credit card and I can get that reduced, if I can call them and negotiate, because I've been paying my bill on time for several years, I've proven to them I'm good. I'm not, out there charging. I'm good now. I understand I'm managing and it's reduced. Okay, fine. You can do that to negotiate a lower rate. But just to jump from offer to offer to offer to offer, no, I would not suggest that. I would not recommend that.
And then I have another question for you. It's funny when something negative hit our credit report, we lose 13 points. Then once we clean it up, we get 2 points back. I feel like that's not fair. You can tell it's all a setup,
It
because why would
is.
you take so much from me when I do something wrong and then give me so
Yes,
little when I
it
do
is.
something right,
That's why, Miss Karen, that's why I keep trying to say, let's not do the wrong stuff. If we're going to do it, let's do the right stuff so we don't have the wrong stuff hitting it. I know life happens and sometimes we just can't help it, but that's why I'm here. Let's do the right stuff. Let's stay within the 5 categories that they look at and they calculate that score. Let's do this so that that negative stuff doesn't hit, because you're right. It's designed to keep us in bondage. Like I said, I'm just being
Woo.
real. I'm just being
Mm,
transparent. It
mm.
is. So I'm like, if you're gonna do credit, let's do it right. Let's do it right. And then if you're gonna clean up your report, let's clean it up right. Let's clean it up. Let's just don't go in and remove stuff just to remove stuff. Let's legally go in and do what the laws say that we can do, because we have laws that say that we can go in and remove inaccurate information. Let's not just go in and say we're gonna delete this, we're gonna delete this, we're gonna delete this, because that will turn around and come back later on 6 months down the road. If it's verified, it can pop right back up on your credit report. So if we're gonna do credit, let's do it right. Let's stay within the guidelines so we don't have that negative stuff hitting against it and our points are dropping like crazy. And
You
then it's
mentioned,
not coming
I'm
back
sorry,
up.
you mentioned the 5 things. What's the five
Mhm.
things that they
The
look at?
5 categories, is actually, okay, let me see. Try to break it down to you. The 5 categories, a credit score has 5 ingredients. I'm just gonna call it 5 ingredients.
Okay.
And
Make
the
us
first,
hungry.
okay, the first ingredient is the payment history. Okay,
Okay.
that counts for 35% of your score.
Mm.
They are looking at how you pay. Are you a late payer or are you an on-time payer? That counts for 35%. That is a lot. So if you're gonna do credit, come on, let's pay this stuff on time. Let's not be late. I know things happen, but 30 days late, 60 days, 90 days late, that's bad. That's hidden. That's negative. If we're gonna do it, let's do it right. Let's pay it. Let's not extend ourselves financially to where we can't pay these payments back. Okay, the second thing is the credit use, the balance versus your credit limit. Let's not max these cards out because it's going to impact you in a very negative way. Let's keep that balance and that credit limit. Let's keep it at a certain level. Let's not, if your limit is $2,000, let's keep this thing at $100 or $200 or maybe $300. Let's not have this thing, you got a $2,000 limit and then you're 1,500 and you're about at 2,000. That's not good. So that's the second thing, credit use. They're looking at how do you use credit? Are you a person that maximizes your accounts all the time? Or are you a person that uses minimum credit? Because if you're maxing all the time, that sends a red flag. Hey, you know what? This person has some issues. This person has some financial problems because they're maxing out their cards all the time. So there's something going on, and that's going to send that lender or that lending institution, that's going to send a red flag. That's going to be like, we don't know about this person because they got all these cards maxed out. So there's some problem here. We
Mhm.
don't we don't want to take a chance on them.
Can I
The
say this
third
right
thing,
quick about that? Is that it seems like it's better to keep getting credit cards so that your credit, see, do you see the system? You got to
this,
keep getting credit cards that will give you a higher credit limit to make it look like you're using less credit, but it's okay to get more credit. It's
but you
just a
don't need to get,
cycle.
but Miss Karen, you really don't need to get the new cards, because if you keep your current cards long enough and pay
Mhm.
them, the limits go up. I personally call oftentimes because my limits are constantly going up. And I'm
Mm.
like, I don't want that much credit. I don't need that much credit. Why do I need that much credit on a car? I don't want that much credit on a car. So sometimes the limits are, if you are a good payer and you're paying on time, your limit is going to automatically be increased anyway.
Mhm.
The company is going to increase it. Do you need it? No. I mean, because if you're not disciplined as an individual, the more they increase that limit, the more spending that individual is going to do. So, I mean, that's why I say discipline is the key. That the bottom line, discipline is the key, because it's tempting. They're coming at you. I mean,
Yes.
every way is, it's tempting. It's there, but discipline is the way. If you can't discipline yourself with credit, don't bother with it.
Yes.
Don't bother with it because it's very, very tempting to do so. The third thing is the length of credit history. They look at how long have you had credit. Are you good? Did you just open an account? Because if it's a new account, they can't really gauge anything off of that. If you had an account for 10, 12 years and you still have that credit card, you've been paying it or whatever, they're like, hey, you know what? This is a good person. They've had it for years. They've managed it really well. It's not maxed out. They're making their payments on time. They're good. That's what they're looking for in regards to the credit use. The other
Gotcha.
thing, types of credit. That counts for 10%.
Mm,
The one I just spoke about, which was the length of credit, that counts for 15% of the score.
mm,
Okay, so the very first one was 35% of the score, payment history. The
mhm.
credit use, 30% of the score. And the length of credit is 15% of the score. And the types of credit card is 10%. And what lenders are looking for is a variety of credit.
Mm.
Now, furniture companies, the little, I would say, lending institutions other than a bank, the little,
Finger hut.
like, yeah, the little finance places and furniture places, they hurt. They hurt your credit because
Mm.
they don't really look at them highly. Um, what they're looking for, mortgage, car payment, and then having some trade lines, some credit cards. They're looking at that and they're saying, can you manage a variety of different types of credit? Can you handle that? Can you manage that? And that's what they're looking at in that area to see, okay, you have all this going on. You have a car payment, you have a credit card payment, and you have a mortgage. Okay, let's see what she's doing. Is she managing this well? Is she handling this well? So that counts for 10% of your score. And then the last one is the inquiries.
Mm.
People
Yeah.
inquiring on your credit. Now, anytime you make an application to get something, that's a hard inquiry, and that's going to count. Too many of those, it's like, why are you searching for so much credit? Why do you need credit? If every month you are applying for a credit card, it's going to be negative. It's going to hit you negative because it's like, why are you applying for all of this credit? Now,
Mm.
if you're just inquiring, doing a soft credit pull, say you go do an annual credit report and you have a credit report pull and you're not committing to a loan or a purchase or something like that, then that's not going to hurt you. But anytime you're going out there and you're making an application and your credit is run and you're signing off on something, it's going to hit. And they're looking at, okay, is she running around just opening up credit cards here and there?
Mm.
Is she just, buying this here and there? That's where that is coming in at. They're looking. So out of all five of those, that is what the lenders are basing their decision whether I'm gonna give you the money or not
You
on
know,
all of that.
it's like a snapshot into our life, our credit is.
Yes,
It tells us, like, our credit card companies know our habits. They know what we buy, they know where we
yes,
go. I mean,
yes,
it's just a tracking thing, the credit
yes,
cards are. And then
yes.
what you said about if you have a lot of like small finance companies, and I didn't know this until I got dinged on one of my credit reports. They were like, because you have this company, that company, like for you got it for eyeglasses, you got it for medical, you got this little card for here and there. And I'm thinking I'm paying them on time, everything. My credit utilization is low, but they ding me just for that. And I was like, y'all just be looking to defeat me. Y'all are that's where the devil's at. That's where the devil is operating. He's up in these credit card and these credit companies. I'm telling y'all.
Right. And see, Miss Karen, that's why I'm like, people, come
Woo.
on, let's get educated. Let's know
Yes.
what they are looking for. Because those are the five categories that make up your score. Let's know what they're looking for ahead of time. So if we're going to do credit, we're going to stay within those perimeters. We're going to stay within their guidelines because if I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it to benefit me. I'm not going to use it to
Yes.
benefit you. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
That's what
let's just
credit is
stay
for.
within the guidelines. If we're going to do it, let's do it right.
And you know what? Credit, as our viewer said, Lisa, if you use it right, because the rich know how to use it. They have
Yes.
millions of dollars in the bank, but they'll go to the bank and use the
Yes.
bank. I mean, why
Yes.
use,
Yes.
you got a $10 million project, you use their $10 million, you only pay, just say $500,000 a month. So that's all that money you got. Say you still got this, just say $9
Right.
million that you can invest and you can still get interest on. So we just
Right.
have to be smarter about
Yes.
credit. So
Yes.
thank you, Cynthia, for
You're
coming
welcome.
tonight. I really
You're
enjoyed it.
welcome.
See, you was like, what are we gonna talk about? I told you we was gonna talk about some stuff. So you got 2 minutes. We're about to close out. I want to thank Cynthia for tonight. She gave us some great tips. She educated us. It was some things that she taught me that I didn't know. And one thing I do want to add that I learned from working in a car dealership, and we work with people with credit, with bad credit, is like that you was talking about that 30-day being late. Pay your stuff. If it's the 27th
Yes.
day, just don't let it get to that 30-day mark. At
Yes.
least it won't end up on your credit report. And that's what I had learned too, was like,
Yes.
even if you're gonna be late, don't be late 30 days. Get it
Yes.
before it hit. Get it before
Yes.
it hit. There you go. That's a t-shirt. Get it before it hit credit. So Miss Cynthia, you got a 1 minute closeout because we're a little over time. So you got I'm gonna give you a 2 minute closeout and I'm gonna shorten mine. So you go ahead.
I just want to say this too. If you run into a struggle, please call. So many people just ignore and they do not call. Call and tell people what's going on. Look, I can't pay it. I got this going on. Call and negotiate a lower payment. Sometimes they are willing to reduce your payment so and work with you. Call. So many people do not call and it does not go away and it creates a bigger mountain and it creates a bigger problem. But when you call, you will find out they will respect you. And like I say, hey, if you are a good payer and you call, they may put that car payment, they may say, okay, you can skip that one. We're going to put it at the end. But pay because, like I said, it leverages you. It leverages you, and you can call and make arrangements, and they will work with you. But if you're a person and you're not paying and you don't care, you can pick up that phone. They're not going to work with you. So I say, do the best you can to pay and call and talk to people. Don't run from them. Call and negotiate a better payment or a better system or a better whatever. Please, please, please call and don't ignore them. That's all I wanted to say.
So give us your contact information so they can
Okay.
call you. Because so what can they do? What can you do for them right quick as you give your contact information?
Whenever you call me, I will actually do a 15-minute consult to find out what are your goals, what it is you want, how can I help you, where are you going, where are you headed. And then from there, from that 15-minute consult, we will come up with a plan to meet whatever goal it is that you're trying, whether that's educating or whether that's cleaning up your credit or whatever it may be. I will work with you to get that, to help you meet your goal, whatever that is. And the way to reach me is Cynthia, Cynthia, at it's a lifestyle change.org. Because I believe when you take control of your finances, it's a lifestyle change. Your lifestyle changes. You are free and you are no longer in bondage and you are no longer stressed. Like you say, you feel free whenever you take control of your finances and your finances are not taking control of you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much. So, to all my viewers out there tonight, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen. And I pray that whatever Cynthia said tonight, that if there's just one thing that you can take that will make you think about making your credit, if it's bad, making it good again. It takes some time, and it definitely, as she said, it's discipline. Definitely discipline, but it's worth it. You don't want to end up with regret because you didn't take the discipline when it's time for you to buy that house to get your credit together. And then you either don't get the house or you have to pay this exuberant
Yes.
interest rate. Or for cars, cars are already expensive right now. So can you
Mhm.
imagine even paying more on an interest rate? So no, we don't want to pay more. That's not wise. That's not being a good steward over our finances. We not only have to be a good steward over our money, we have to be a good steward over our credit. Lord forbid if God started looking at our credit score as far as if we gonna get into heaven or not. Whoa, some of us we got a 666 credit score. So on the real, y'all, take her advice, reach out to her. She said, Just give up 15 minutes. That's that 15 minutes that you will be swiping somewhere, spending money that you shouldn't. But I took away a lot of good things for her tonight. Don't hit that 30-day mark if you got to be
Yes.
late. Talk to your creditors. Make sure
Yes.
you're not using the max on your credit cards. Keep
Yes.
that balance down low. Also, if you getting credit cards from this department store, they're looking at that. That can also ding you too. So she opened our eyes to so many things that they can count against us, but she
Yes.
also gave us the tools to fight back and say, hey, I'm educated now,
Yes.
so I can get my
Yes.
credit score up. I know what I'm doing. So it's all
Yes.
about education, that
Yes.
lack of knowledge. That's why we're perishing in our finances, perishing in other areas of our life because we have a lack of knowledge about a lot of things. So let's be wise, y'all. Be wise as serpents. So thank you, Cynthia, for tonight. You were an excellent guest. You
Thank you.
educated us, you entertained us, and you engaged us. So we really appreciate that. And so I'm saying, hey, y'all, hey, y'all, hey, y'all, reach out to her. Look on Facebook. You can find her as Cynthia Johnson. Follow her, connect with her. Just don't watch her. Connect with her, y'all. So I just want to thank you for tuning in to the Ruby Girl Talk tonight. Once again, Miss Cynthia, thank you. If it's anything you need from my platform, please let me know because I really appreciate you being a guest tonight. I do.
Thank you, Miss Ruby. Thank you for the invitation. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, not a problem. I'm glad that I could sit and chat with you. So, everybody, I will be back next week with another fantastic and amazing guest, 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday. Connect with your Ruby girl and her guests, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank you once
night.
again, Miss Cynthia. And y'all, look, keep that credit tight now. Don't be driving with all those
Yes.
credit cards making our insurance go
Yes.
up, okay? So, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.